Welcome. In this edition of Kurukshetra, we will talk about green technologies in rural areas and the challenges that could be brought with it. Now, green technologies are considered as one of the new markets and new opportunities being brought into the country, but these are environmentally sustainable. They reduce the carbon footprint into the atmosphere and help in combating the climate change. So, this concept has been becoming very popular because it refers to devices, services, and processes that emit no or minimum greenhouse gases, and therefore they are safer, they are bringing towards, or they are moving towards a healthier environment. But these are also a way to fight the climate change issue. Under this, we talk about transportation technologies, waste management technologies, sustainable material that could be used for building purpose, and the diverse ways through which renewable energies could be used. So there are some of the methods. For example, forward osmosis is one of the methods through which we extract water molecule through a membrane, leaving behind the salt content. Similarly, there is the caltrate desalinization method, where we capture water molecules within the carbon dioxide and apply pressure from the caltrate crystals, and these disintegrate and release fresh water. Dew vaporization, where humidification of the heated air is done by passing saline water over the heated surface. Now the condensed water is collected through the condensing heat transfer films. Freeze desalinization is another method where transition of water from liquid to solid takes place, and in that process extraction of salt from ice crystals is done. Now these crystals are melted and fresh water is generated. So these are the ways in which water purification can be done and fresh water can be obtained, but these are considered as greener technologies. Now green technologies can be used for energy sector, as we said, for manufacturing and commercial sectors, for building sectors, for the building material and dismantling, for the waste sector, where we talk about water supply, wastewater treatment, and landfill operations, for the transport sector, where we focus on vehicular emissions, where we talk about biofuels, biodiesel being used, and use of public transit systems, use of carpooling. Agricultural sector, where we focus on artificial intelligence, internet of things, and bring in technologies for reshaping the industries, bringing in more sustainable future. Under the manufacturing, we talk about reducing the substantial use of coal and oil and natural gas, and redoing it with renewable energy in the form of solar energy, wind energy, or tidal energy. So there is National Green Mission which has been earmarked, and this talks about reducing the carbon emissions in the economy, reducing the import dependence on fossil fuels, and bringing in India as one of the leaders of green hydrogen technology. A separate green hydrogen generation sector has been established in the regions of Kerala. Kochi airport has been considered as one of the airports which is 100% solar airport, and these are some of the ways we are associating greener technologies and looking forward towards a positive optimistic solutions by reducing energy consumption, by reducing the waste, and bringing in sustainable technologies and generating bioenergy. So these ways we have future ideas as well. Now the future ideas which talk about innovative methods for greener technology focus around three things. First is efficiently using the resources, second is bringing in more of renewable energy, and third is reducing the wastage of energy. Also, we are talking about transformative potentials which talk about innovation, collaboration, and collective efforts that could be brought. Now, as we said, along with this, improving the water quality, improving the air quality, bringing in climate resilience, and reduction of the environmental degradation are some of the important aspects. When it comes to economic implications, we understand that these should bring in more jobs, they should be innovative, competitive, cost saving, energy independent, and should have better investment opportunities. From the social aspect, we talk about equitable distribution and equitable access. That means once the solar panels are ready, they should be made available to each and everyone. Green technology projects should be strengthened, and social cohesive technology should be brought into account. So under the green technology adoption, we have certain key areas. First is the climate adaptation and resilience, and as we already discussed, it focuses mainly on innovation, investment, and collaboration efforts, with bringing in renewable energy, energy efficiency, and sustainable transport and waste management. but they have certain challenges. Now challenges come in the form of bringing in financial constraints, implementing policies, or a social shift towards the sustainable practices, which is not very openly accepted by the people. Also, there are case studies where we have seen, for example, in Germany, the renewable energy transition method has been used in Curitiba in Brazil. Sustainable transportation is one of the world famous examples. Similarly, in Portland, Oregon, again, the metro is one of the examples of urban planning. Sweden has waste management innovation technologies. Singapore has green building initiatives, and Costa Rica has agroecological farmings which have been working there. Climate finance and green investments have been popular. So promoting green technology is again an important aspect. So how do you market, how do you promote it? So what are the targets, what are the incentives, what are the subsidies associated with it, what are the procurement policies, what are the benefits? So outreach and education again becomes important. So for example, if you are enabling green ammonia for exports, then this would go to refinery, for fertilizers, for city gas distribution, and then there are pilot projects being run for domestic purpose, for commercial purpose, and then finally this could be rolled out under the later period. So clean and renewable energy in the form of solar, wind, hydroelectric, or nuclear becomes important, and India aims to achieve nearly 50% of the electric power installed from the renewables by 2030 and to achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2070. Also, energy is essential for development. 85% of increase in demand has come from India, China, and Southeast Asian countries, and 40% of the electricity generation has been accounted from renewable and low emission sources, which is a very indicative or positive indicator, we can say. Energy is responsible for 60% of the greenhouse gas. So if there is a 40% reduction in energy generation through the renewable sources, then that means that we are significantly able to curtail the issue of rising temperatures if this technology can be brought into a cost effective manner and implemented on a larger scale, right? The next is, what is the renewable energy scenario? So under the International Renewable Energy Agency, the renewable energy power capacity globally is 3870 gigawatts, with solar energy at around 1420 gigawatts. Then we have solar photovoltaic cells. There are energy use in the form of hydropower, wind power, bioenergy, and marine energy also form a substantial portion, but they are relatively less. Again, we have geothermal energy as one important source of energy contribution that can be seen. Also, talking about the other options, we have like low temperature direct ammonia fuel cells. Now these efficiently convert ammonia into electricity at a temperature below 100 degrees Celsius, and these can be used with high energy density, clean energy production without carbon, and can simplify the heat management. So ammonia is abundant and can be used as a clean burning source which does not emit carbon dioxide during the combustion process. Also, the seawater electrolysis, the direct electrolysis would split the seawater into hydrogen and oxygen, which can be utilized for energy purpose. Smart grids can be established. Now these smart grids would work on artificial intelligence infused analytical softwares, which would actually help the grid operators convert the information into the action as and when required. So digital technologies can be used accordingly. Under the IEA's electricity report, renewable energy would surpass the global usage by 2025 and contribute to 1/3 of the global electricity generation, which is a significant amount that we can see. But again, at the local level, we need to have technologies which could work on focusing on renewable sources of energy. So technologies to convert biomass to energy could be combustion, gasification, pyrolysis, biomethanation, where microbial conversion into biogas takes place in absence of oxygen. Then another important aspect that we focus on is sustainable agriculture. Agriculture is again considered as one of the major emitters of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. So how we can bring in green technologies to have sustainable agriculture? We need to focus on methods which would reduce the environmental impact, maintain better yield and quality, bring in economic viability, improve soil health and crop resilience. Also, we would adopt technologies in agriculture, for example, agroforestry, agricultural biotechnology, organic farming, drones, digital sensors, integrated pest management systems, smart irrigations, crop rotation, green nanotechnology as some of the ways through which sustainable agriculture can be seen. Another aspect is sustainable waste management and sustainable water management. So under water management, we are talking about extensive use of natural resources and making this use in such a way that they do not have a negative impact onto the livelihood. So the first water body census talks about or enumerated the total and the rural urban water bodies. And when we talk about green technologies in water sector, one of the important one is rainwater harvesting, then identifying the level of total dissolved solids, the TDS in rainwater, and then how we can collect it and utilize it through various means. There can be a bioreactor, which is a device containing bacteria which can be associated or linked to a bed biofilm reactor, and this would have a membrane and this would separate the tanks, and finally the separation of liquid water from the biosolids can take place. So wastewater treatment can be done, E. coli removal can be done through this, and metal contamination can also be processed. Similarly, there are methods like biofilters, bioremediation and electrowinning that can be used. Electrowinning actually uses electrodes to pass the wastewater and then it would extract metals like copper, nickel and gold and allow the remaining water to pass through. Desalinization is another way through which this can be done. So there are various stages of treatment, as we already know: primary, secondary and tertiary. So primary is the physical screening, secondary is where sedimentation and filtration occurs, and tertiary is where heavy metals and pathogens are removed. So there have been numerous success stories associated to it. One of this is deep tunnel sewerage system, which is for environmental sustainable. There is nearly 206-kilometer long deep tunnels which have been developed with 3 centralized water reclamation plants being developed. The next is Verbi treatment plant in Melbourne, and that employs advanced treatment methods like bioreactors and UV disinfection methods. And then consequently the water which is obtained goes to parks, golf courses, etc. Then there are various ways through which we can have biodiversity conservation using remote sensing technology. So biodiversity faces higher pressure through development. There has been fragmentation of the habitat. We have seen good examples with elephant. Project Elephant has been lined up in order to understand that the elephant corridors are maintained because habitat fragmentation takes place as urbanization or industrialization percolates in. So through this remote sensing technology, we can identify the threat factors, the areas where overexploitation is done, more loss is done. There are invasive species that could be seen. Invasive species could be in the form of lantana, prosopis. So we understand the land use and land cover. So it gives us a suitability mapping pattern for, let's say, tigers, elephants, various species, and the which path or which regions they can be best preserved with. So India's land area is identified, the various zones are identified, biodiversity hotspots are characterized, and then each of these layers are overlaid and the best areas for individual species can be assessed with. Similarly, if we talk about a case-based study, Uttarakhand Action Plan on Climate Change is one of the important aspects because this region of Uttarakhand has witnessed sudden climatic change because of the changes in the habitation, changes in the urbanization patterns, and unexpected use of the resources or the fragile Himalayan belt, we could say. Now, there has been an upward shift from the current location for this species, and this has been an important part of the study. So, the data which has been brought by list 3 under the IRS P6 studied by the National Remote Sensing Center in Hyderabad, has been focusing on the satellite imageries, verifying for on-site accuracies, and studying about the vegetation and the agriculture in the protected areas, in the specific areas, and the extent of species in those areas. The next is, how can we empower the rural communities to reduce the socio-economic inequalities and bring in the practices of better green waste technologies in the rural areas. So reduce, reuse and recycle is the aspect where we categorize it under wet waste, dry waste, sanitary waste and e-waste. We have smart solutions which would focus on the modeling and waste to energy generation. And then there are certain policy solutions which have been brought. One such system is the IoT based smart waste management system, which talks about the waste processing and improved effectiveness. There is when the wastewater surpasses 80%, the GPS guided trucks actually collect the waste, and the resources can be well managed. So as you can see, when the consumer disposes the garbage, the storage analysis goes to the data, goes to the mobile app and the authorities. The truck comes in and picks the trashes, which is segregated into the grid segmentation through a gripper which has a camera module, and this has been programmed with Raspberry Pi or other softwares, so that the proper segregation can be done without human involvement. And this would lead to exemplary case studies. Successful case studies include National Biogas and Manure Management Program, Swachh Bharat Mission. Then we have various self-help groups and their monitoring, which has been working. Another case study comes as Hasiru Mane initiative in Karnataka, Punsari village in Gujarat, Pind Cycle in Punjab, which have waste agriculture production to biomass, which has been seen. In Gujarat, electricity from local waste has been generated. So these frameworks have been providing various better facilities for technical development and technological development. But when we talk about waste pickers, they have vulnerabilities. Now the vulnerabilities come in the form of segregation in the society, the health hazards that they witness, they don't have any fixed incomes, they don't have basic human rights, and there is no voice for their development. So when these are the vulnerabilities associated with waste pickers, why not segregate the waste using technology? And this has been one of the major prerogatives that has been brought into account. With the expansion of green waste technology system, India can have a more inclusive future for the rural communities and the segregated communities, and the social exclusion can be reduced significantly. So those were some of the topics that we discussed in the Kurukshetra May edition. We would be covering Yojana in the further classes, and the handouts for the same are available on Exam Race Current Affairs section. So do visit. Thanks for joining in.